I would like to announce that a quorum is present. The meeting is duly called, and a notice of the meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. The time is 6:03 p.m. The following board members are in attendance: Catherine Sells, Sheila Taylor, Michelle Akateb, Dr. Stacy Barker, Dr. Buddy Bonner, Jenny Prosnick. Ms. Lasan could not join us tonight. I've asked board member Catherine Sells to lead us in prayer.
If you so desire, may you bow your heads with me. Dear Heavenly Father, I just pray tonight that all in this room will understand what the difficulties are and the challenges in these decisions. I just pray that we're filled with wisdom and compassion and patience as we listen to these sweet families that are here tonight and want to share their stories and share just what is on their hearts. I pray for our students. I pray that they are safe, supported, and encouraged no matter what the decisions that are made around them. And I just pray that our community comes together with understanding and empathy, and that we just try to lift each other up and work collaboratively to provide the best environment for learning, growth, and well-being. May strength, hope, and unity guide everyone, and especially those seated at this table alongside me through these times, and that we will see a resilience in all as we move forward in the days ahead. In Jesus' name, amen.
Please join us in the pledges of allegiance and the Texas Pledge. Ms. Martinez, would you come up to the podium, please?
Good evening. My name is Liliana Marquez, and I am the EV Administrator for Louisville ISD. Buenas noches, mi nombre es Liliana Márquez y yo soy la administradora del programa Dual IDE de CEL. Si algún miembro de la comunidad necesita traducción para hacer su intervención o sus preguntas, yo voy a estar disponible en el bordecito del auditorio para que ustedes por favor se sientan cómodos de buscarme y yo con mucho gusto les ayudo a traducir al español. If anybody needs translation, I'm here to serve you. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez. The next item on the agenda is a presentation on the boundary line adjustments and school retirements for the Colony High School feeder. I understand that the administration has a presentation this evening. Following that presentation, we will move on to the next item, which is public comment and receipt of information, feedback from you all. Dr. Rapp.
All right, good evening, everyone. Madam President, members of the board, thank you all so much for being here to engage with us this evening and to provide your feedback about the proposal that we have put forward to the community regarding changes in the colony feeder pattern. It's so important to us that we hear from you all, as we know how important these decisions are, and we appreciate your time. We appreciate you studying the information we've put forward, and I humbly offer this proposal to address what is significant enrollment decline in our school district. All right, so when we talk about the proposals that we have put forward to the community, all of these proposals address, as I said, the enrollment decline that is happening in each of our 5 feeder patterns. Our district-wide enrollment peaked in about 2016-17 at 53,000. And we are now currently a district of 47,000 students. And as our demographer reported, even as recently as Monday night at the board meeting, we will stabilize over the next 10 years now at about 44,000 students. And so, unlike when the district was fast growth in the early 90s and the 2000s, when the district is buying land and building school buildings and adjusting boundaries in order to fill up those buildings that they've just built, our district is now on the other end of that continuum. And so we are now having to go back and take a look at all of these buildings that were built during that fast growth period. Is all of that space what is needed today to meet the needs of 47,000 students, and ultimately looking forward and looking ahead to meet the needs of 44,000 students? This proposal also takes a look at campus projected utilization and the amount of space that we have in all of our neighboring schools in a feeder pattern. We know ultimately across our district that when you reach a certain point in enrollment, over about 550 students at an elementary school, you get additional specials rotations, you get additional staff, you get additional counselors, and many of our school buildings that now hold 300 to 400 students, or even as low as 200 at one time, had some of these resources when their enrollment was higher. We also know that with the current economy and as inflation rises, that we have to consider the operating cost, as we are an organization that's funded based on our enrollment. So the amount of funding that the district had when we were a district of 53,000 is very different than the amount of funding that you get when you're 47,000 or 45 or 44,000. And then ultimately, we know that our school board has options available to them when school buildings are retired. They can repurpose those buildings, they can lease a building, or they can ultimately decide to generate additional revenue for the district by selling the building and or selling the land. So we're going to take a look first at the school retirement proposal, which would be the retirement of B.B. Owen Elementary. The retirement of B.B. Owen Elementary impacts the neighboring schools of Etheridge, Peters Colony, Morningside, Kamey, and Memorial. B.B. Owen Elementary has currently 273 students with a maximum capacity of around holding 700 students. In the early 2000s, B.B. Owen had a student enrollment of over 500 students, and as I shared, it now has 200 zone students. When you go to review spaces that are available in our buildings, the amount of optimal capacity space that we have is impacted by the special programs that we have on campus, along with, as our enrollment has declined in our buildings, classrooms that once held 22 students and were a grade level classroom have begun to be used in different ways. And so as we go back and review what is possible for our buildings to hold, you will see that Etheridge will hold up to 700 students, Peters Colony will hold up to over 1,000, Morningside over 700, Kamey over 800, Memorial over 900, and Lakeview Middle School will hold anywhere between 970 and 1,150 students. Additionally, one of the things that we're having to consider as we consider the efficiency assessment scores from our Community Efficiency Committee process is the current enrollment at Lakeview is 419 students, and over the next 10 years is forecasted to be between 383 or around 447 students. So the boundary adjustments that we're talking about this evening also are to address the low efficiency assessment score that we have with Lakeview Middle School, as the projected enrollment of Lakeview would be 438, while a projected enrollment at Griffin is 662 students. So how would this impact Etheridge Elementary? The new projected enrollment with the boundary changes resulting from a retirement of B.B. Owen would have 446 students at Etheridge. The current enrollment at Etheridge is around 325. Any students who are currently zoned to Etheridge Elementary would stay zoned to Etheridge. In the early 2000s, Etheridge had over 500 students, and it currently has 285 zoned students. Students who are currently on a transfer to BB Owen Elementary School in this proposal would be provided a transfer space at Etheridge Elementary. If a family did not want to accept that transfer space to Etheridge, then they could apply to transfer to a different school as well, or return back to their zoned neighborhood campus. Students who are rezoned from BB Owen to Etheridge would then go on to Lakeview Middle School. This school at Etheridge has additional support programs through our Communities and Schools North Texas program. How would these changes impact Peters Colony? Peters Colony would have a new projected enrollment of 663 students. It has a current enrollment of just over 600. Some students who currently attend Peters Colony in this proposal would be rezoned to Etheridge Elementary, which also feeds into Lakeview Middle School. That neighborhood is circled on the chart, on the graph, on the map there. This is a neighborhood east of 423, but north of North Colony Boulevard. Students who are rezoned from BB Owen to Peters Colony would be zoned for Griffin Middle School. In the mid-2000s, Peters Colony had over 731 zoned students, and today it currently has 310 zoned students. Peters Colony already currently has an additional specials teacher, and with this additional enrollment at Peters Colony, they would be eligible to receive as well an additional assistant principal. Peters Colony also has an additional support program through Communities and Schools North Texas. Any students who are currently in 6th grade at Griffin that in this proposal would now be in an area that's rezoned to Lakeview would be able to request a transfer in order to continue attending Griffin. Students currently in 7th grade who are at Griffin that would be entering 8th grade would be able to continue attending Griffin, or they could attend Lakeview, their newly zoned school, because according to board policy, FDB local, it states that you're grandfathered at your existing school, which for these students would be Griffin, and any siblings of students that are grandfathered would be able to stay at Griffin as well. How would these proposed changes impact Morningside Elementary? The new projected enrollment of Morningside would be 400 students. It has a current enrollment of 333 students. Current Morningside Elementary students that are in the neighborhoods that are circled there on the map north of 121 would be rezoned to Kamey. In the early 2000s, Morningside served over 600 plus zoned students, and it currently has 255 zoned students today. Students who are rezoned from BB Owen to Morningside will ultimately then be zoned for Griffin Middle School. How would these proposed changes affect Kamey Elementary? Kamey Elementary's new projected enrollment would be 558 students. Their current enrollment is 428 students. When looking at the classrooms at Kamey, we were able to take additional classrooms that would be able to be used for grade level classrooms now, and so it would have a revised optimal capacity of 724 students. In the early 2000s, Kamey had 500 plus zoned students. It now has 289 zoned students. Kamey Elementary does have additional support for students through Communities and Schools North Texas, and no existing Kamey Elementary students would be relocated as a part of this retirement proposal. We know that our district is home to many wonderful special education programs, and we know that the staff and students in our special education classrooms have a very unique bond as well. And we, as a district, at different times, it is not uncommon for us to face circumstances where we have to relocate special education programs or pre-K programs from year to year. And that will have nothing to do with a retirement when that happens. The program is relocated, the students and the staff are relocated together at the new location. In this retirement proposal for BB Owen, we would be relocating the 3 comm classes to Kamey Elementary. We would be relocating the ECSE co-teach programs to Peters Colony Elementary, and we would be relocating 1 pre-K program to Kamey Elementary. So when you take a look at the overall feeder map for the colony with this proposed retirement, BB Owen is the boundary up at the very top there, and you can see it's now divided between Etheridge, Peters Colony, and Morningside. And then I talked about the relocation of some of the Morningside students in that area that now are in yellow that would belong to Kamey Elementary School. The new resulting map for the middle schools, the green section now represents all of the students that would be zoned to Lakeview. The pink section represents all of the students that would be zoned to Griffin. There is one boundary adjustment proposal that we are also bringing forward, and this is to adjust the Memorial Elementary STEM Academy boundary. With changing the Memorial Elementary boundary, the new projected enrollment would be 686 students. This proposed change is in order to ensure that the enrollment at Memorial does not exceed Memorial's capacity. Memorial's optimal capacity is 900 students. The current enrollment is 742 students and is forecasted over the next 10 years to be between 822 and 835 students. Kamey Elementary has an optimal capacity of 724 students, and its current enrollment, as we said, was 428 students. So by making this boundary adjustment, it allows for the new Memorial Elementary to be, as I said, 686, which would be below that optimal capacity. So the neighborhood that is Meridian and Hidden Cove would be relocated to Kamey Elementary in this boundary adjustment proposal. Ultimately, as we have shown, we will put all of this information from tonight's listening tour on the internet. The boundary adjustment and school retirement proposal, of course, has been on the internet for all of you to study, and again, thank you for studying it in advance of tonight. We will post this presentation on the internet, and we will also be posting a response to the comment and feedback and questions that we received this evening as well for the whole entire community to see. And with that, Madam President, I'll close my presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Rapp. Public comments are next on the agenda. The sole item on our agenda today relates to the potential boundary line adjustments and school retirements in the Colony High School feeder. We are here to listen to your feedback and input about this specific topic. Comments on other topics or about potential changes in other high school feeders will not be permitted at this meeting. We're here to listen to you, but please understand that we are not able to respond directly to comments or questions posed by speakers. I know that many of you have stepped away from your evening responsibilities to be here and give your input, and we understand that your time is valuable. To ensure that we can get to each speaker within a reasonable period of time, the following procedures will apply for public comment tonight. Each speaker must have registered to speak online by 12:00 p.m. yesterday, Tuesday, November 12th. Speakers who registered online should have checked in with the staff by 6:30 p.m. and received an assigned number indicating the order they will speak. If you are here and you signed up to speak and you have not checked in, you have 8 minutes. I will call speakers up to the microphone in numerical order. This is the odd microphone. This is the even microphone. We will hear comments first on potential boundary lines adjustments. Once those comments are complete, we will hear comments on potential school retirements. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes to speak. When your number is called, please make your way to the front. We will call speakers up 2 at a time so that the next speaker is ready to move quickly to the podium when their turn comes. Please respect each speaker's opportunity to be heard and refrain from any disruption during or in between speakers. Return to your seat once your time has expired so the next speaker can get to the podium. Please limit your comments to the potential actions directly impacting schools in the Colony High School feeder. We ask you to focus on your campus only and refrain from disparaging or negative remarks about other campuses. Please be courteous and respectful to others in making your comments. And finally, and most importantly, we want to thank each of you for being here. The sole purpose of this meeting is to share information with you and to hear your input about these important issues. We love that you love your schools, and we are very appreciative of those who have reached out to the board and staff by email or other means to express themselves respectfully about these difficult issues. For each speaker, when you come up, please state your name. Speakers 1 and 2. 1, 2. Speaker 1.
Good to go.
You're good to go.
My name is Anthony Assad. I'm a community member in the Meridian neighborhood. I wanted to speak against the rezoning out of Memorial. We bought our house. We were promised that we were going to have a STEM academy next to us. And when it finally opened up, everybody in the neighborhood was excited. And to hear that that's going away is an extreme disappointment to everybody in the neighborhood. Not only that, I have an issue with how we in Meridian are being treated. The community has been around for maybe 15, 16 years. In that time, we've been rezoned about 4 or 5 different times. Stop playing hot potato with us. We want to feel like we're a part of a community, and it's hard to do that when you're moving around every few years, and that's just not fair to the residents there. It's not fair to the kids that are in school there, and I think that we as a community deserve better than that. One of the other things with Memorial has received such high praise, high rankings, and Kami has struggled a little bit. I'm a father first, and asking me to take anything less for my son is not acceptable. My son is what's important to me. My family is what's important to me, and I will never, ever take something of less quality for my kids to go through. That's not fair. I don't think any of you would accept that for anybody in your family. I'm going to keep it to that, but like I said, make a decision. Quit. Meridian has moved around so many times. It's not fair to the residents of that neighborhood. We don't feel like we belong. We're on the border of Louisville and the Colony. Louisville, we barely have any services there, and we don't get any services from the Colony. So I would just ask y'all to consider that. Thank you.
Thank you. Speaker 2, and would Speaker 3 make their way up?
Hi, my name is Jennifer Burkholder, and first I thank you for this opportunity. I'm an industrial engineer, and so I focus on process efficiency and optimization, so I fully respect and understand the decision that you guys are faced with today. I'm just asking you guys not to make this decision for the Meridian neighborhood. The reason being, like he mentioned, it's been rezoned 4 times and now almost 5 times since its inception in 2007. That means that it's been rezoned every 3.5 years on average, which guarantees that every elementary school-age child has to go to at least 2 different elementary schools. That also means that entering first graders at the time of rezoning would be required to go to 3 different elementary schools. And that's the history we've seen. So I'm asking for consistency this go around. I'm asking for the Meridian neighborhood not to be rezoned. Now you may say that your intention is to provide consistency moving forward, and I respect and I applaud that thought process. My request would be to consider that any successor in your position may also be considering a rezoning, and we have 3 elementary schools in equal proximity to this neighborhood, so any reasonable decision could be, again, to rezone. So if your intention is to offer consistency moving forward, I request that we offer that consistency now. Now, if the decision is to maintain the rezoning proposal for Meridian, my secondary request would be to maintain the busing for this neighborhood. And I don't believe that it's any budgetary significance because the Kings Grant neighborhood, which is our adjacent neighborhood, is the only neighborhood on that side of 121 that is still zoned for Memorial. So to add even a condensed stop or a centralized stop for the Meridian neighborhood would not be of significant budgetary assessment. Now, I realize that's up to you guys and not to me, right? So I'm asking you to consider that. On a personal note, my 7-year-old was recently asked by my uncle what his favorite class is in school. And he said engineering. That made my engineering heart really, really proud. And I ask that as part of this consideration, we're considering this neighborhood to provide that consistency that we have not seen historically, and also to maintain that excitement in STEM education that these kids have already got to ignite the passion for.
Thank you. Speaker 3, and will Speaker 4 make their way?
Thank you for your time to allow me to speak today and express my thoughts around the rezoning. My name is Rabina Mukherjee, and I have a first grader at the Memorial STEM Academy. I reside in the Meridian subdivision, which is being impacted by this rezoning proposal. I want to start with ensuring everyone knows that I'm not using this platform for the benefit of just my child, but looking at this holistically for all the children that are currently at Memorial Elementary that are also being impacted by this rezoning. I have 3 main concerns, 2 main concerns and 1 a little bit more sensitive. First, the wellness of students who have been transferred from a school that they are familiar with will be disruptive, socially, academically, and emotionally. They are used to the curriculum and rubrics and tools to evaluate performance as part of STEM learning, as well as the environment of nurturing staff and support. In this case, transitioning to KAMI would mean starting over, which is detrimental to their well-being, causing setbacks and anxiety during formative time in their growth and learning, social connections, and overall mental framework. Second, I have learned through the rezoning that it does not impact outside transfers that are going into Memorial or have gone into Memorial, even if it means they are in those neighborhoods surrounding KAMI or even Meridian. This logistically doesn't resonate as much, as the rezoning should impact all in these zones, not just the ones that have had to transition in to engage in a better learning environment. There was a reason these families initially transitioned out, and that was to move to a different school, a STEM academy. It's difficult to understand how outside transfers are allowed to stay while those who were initially zoned to Memorial need to leave. There are boundary issues. Neighborhoods that are just a block away are able to stay on this side of 121. So it doesn't resonate with me well, and I would like to learn a little bit more why. My recommendation would be to grandfather in those kids that are there now and start new enrollments in 25 and 26 into the proposed schools for zoning. And I have 9 seconds. So I won't get into the last one as much. There was a safety incident, and I would like to know what protocols are in place now to make sure that.
Thank you very much. Speaker 4, will Speaker 5 make their way down?
Hi, I'm Sheena Jordan, and my son attends kindergarten at Memorial Elementary. Our neighborhood, which is Meridian Hidden Cove, it's actually the same neighborhood, it's not different. is being rezoned to Kami. Since our neighborhood was being developed in 2006, we have been rezoned to 4 different elementary schools. We started at Coyote Ridge in 2006, transferred to Independence in 2008, then Etheridge in 2012, and now Memorial in 2021 when it opened. That's possibly five different elementary schools in less than 18 years. That's crazy. This is excessive and does not provide stability for our kids, our neighborhood, or our community. Our community has spoken out in the past about rezoning, but was ignored about it, and I don't want to be ignored today. Our neighborhood is also coded to attend Lakeview Middle School, so if we're removed from Memorial feeder pattern, the kids in our neighborhood will no longer have access to a STEM education. My son went to daycare that is a STEM-based daycare in preparation to attend Memorial STEM School. He has ADHD, and with Memorial, we've received amazing support from his teacher and the assistant principal. For students with processing disorders and ADHD, the STEM learning approach can make learning more accessible and engaging. STEM-based activities are hands-on, build on problem solving, and caters to individual learning, which helps students grasp abstract concepts through real-life application. My younger daughter also attends the same STEM-based daycare. The daycare offers an extremely valuable service where they pick up my son from Memorial and bring him to the daycare for their after-school program. Since my husband and I both work full-time, we're not able to pick him up from school when he gets out or to pick him up from the bus stop. If we rezone to Kami, the daycare will no longer be able to provide these services to us, which would not only impact my family, but all working parents who rely on this service from our neighborhood. I will admit, I know nothing of Kami except what I've Googled, and it's not been great. I won't get into that. I'm also on the PTA at Memorial, and in the past 3 months, I've spent 10 volunteer hours on the PTA and over $600 towards to build an outdoor school classroom for their school. And if we move, we're not going to get any benefit from that. We've also been impacted, I think, from Stewart's Creek Elementary School closing in 2021, which seems very recent that we're now closing another school in this district. Lastly, this will decrease our property values in our neighborhood, and we personally are likely to move if we get rezoned or attend another school that's not an LISD. Thank you.
Thank you. Will Speaker 6 make their way down to the microphone? Speaker 5.
Good evening. I'm Tejaswini M. I stand before you today as a concerned parent and community member, voicing my strong opposition to the proposal that would relocate students of the Memorial Elementary in the neighborhoods of Meridian and Hidden Cove to Kami Elementary. I understand that difficult decisions must be made in response to declining enrollment trends, but this proposal raises several concerns that I believe need to be seriously reconsidered. First, I want to share my personal perspective. I'm a parent of a first grade student who loves attending Memorial School. My child is thriving in the current learning environment, enjoying not just the academic opportunities, but also the nurturing atmosphere that the teachers and the staff have worked so hard to create. The school feels like a second home for him, and I'm deeply concerned about relocating our children will disrupt their positive educational experience. Moreover, I must highlight a pattern that my predecessors talked about that cannot be ignored. Our neighborhood has already been rezoned 4 times in the last 18 years. Each time, our children have had to adapt to new environments and new teaching approaches. Repeated rezoning has disrupted the stability that is so crucial for a child's educational journey. Adding another change to this pattern not only continues a circle of uncertainty for our children's academic and social development. How much more disruption can we expect our children to handle? Stability and consistency are essential for our children's success. Moving students, especially those who are well established at Memorial, can have a significant impact. These children have spent years building relationships with their classmates, teachers, and the wider school community. Uprooting them from the environment could have serious emotional and academic consequences. Second, the importance of Memorial being a STEM academy cannot be overstated. This specialized focus is about more than just offering classes in science, maths, technology, engineering. It's about building a solid educational foundation for our children. A strong STEM curriculum develops critical thinking, problem-solving skills, and a love for learning that extends far beyond elementary schools. Elementary, which is not a STEM, moving our students to elementary, KME Elementary, which is not a STEM academy, risks losing these benefits and could limit their future academic and professional opportunity. Such a shift would be a step backward in terms of educational quality, academic rigor, and long-term growth. Third, this move will have a practical impact on our daily lives. My husband and I are full-time workers, and my child currently has after-school arrangements at a local daycare.
Thank you. Speaker 6.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Christina Ramhild, and I live in the Meridian Hidden Cove neighborhood. I actually just moved there a year ago. Speaker number 1 is my brother, and we actually moved over there so that we could be closer to family. We did not spend a small amount on our house, and the reason that we moved there was A, to be close to family, and B, so that my son could have an education. My husband was very picky about his education, even thought about private school, but as soon as he heard about the STEM Academy and it being zoned there, that was immediately where he wanted to go. I want my son to go to that school, and I know it's not just about my son or anybody else's kids in here. I understand that there's research that you guys are conducting, but I feel that since we've been rezoned 4 times, and I wasn't here for it, but I don't want to be in that mix. I want us to have that consistency. I want my son to have that consistency, and we even signed up for a daycare that would go to and from Memorial. So now at this point, not only is I would have to pull my son out of that daycare. I'd have to figure out a different kind of education for him. And as they've said, I'm not here to disparage KME. It's just not on the same level as Memorial. So the fact that we purchased this house, we moved to this neighborhood, and we did all of this because we were in DISD and wanted a better education for my son, it's extremely disappointing to hear that now all of a sudden, for the 5th time, we're gonna have to go somewhere else. And granted, he is only almost 2 years old, but I don't know what point we're going to be at in the next 3 years if this is the pattern that we're going through. So I would really appreciate, as the other speaker said, if you guys would hear us and listen to us and not go through with this rezoning. Because the follow-up that I have is, how were we the ones that were chosen to not stay with Memorial? Why wasn't it the neighborhood that was in front of us? Because we're both on the other side of 121. So how were we the unlucky ones that were chosen to be rezoned? And I guess that's the question that I have, is how did that happen to be us and not someone else? So I really hope that everyone that's out here, you see them, you hear us, and you see that we really don't want this to happen, and we want the best for our kids. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes all the speakers that we had signed up tonight for boundary adjustments. We will move on to the speakers who are speaking on the retirement of B.B. Owen. That would be, our first speaker is Speaker 11, and then Speaker 12. So Speaker 11, Speaker 12.
My name is Candy Merrill. I do not have any students currently at B.B. Owen, but both of my children did come from B.B. Owen. And I would like to preface this as I hope that resonates with the board, that a parent that has absolutely no dog in the fight is here to fight for this school because of the impact that it is having on my college-age students as we speak. My daughter would have liked to be here tonight. She is currently taking classes at North Texas to become a special ed teacher, which came from B.B. Owen and its influence. Her goal was to come back and teach at B.B. Owen. You will hear many sentimental statements tonight about how much B.B. Owen means to families, how much Coach Gary Cox influenced this town and its children. I agree with all of those statements. B.B. Owen should be left to stand as a memorial monument to this teacher whose impact is as palpable now, 5 years after his passing, as it was during his years of teaching. However, I'm an accountant, I understand numbers. But I also believe that closing B.B. Owen could negatively impact the community in other ways. Rerouting these students to the remaining 4 elementary schools in the city would create crowded classrooms and stress on teachers. Students who normally have been able to walk to school would now be bused across the city. Their day would start much earlier. Studies show that putting children this young through long days is detrimental to their mental development and negatively impacts their chances of long-term academic success. We moved to the North Point neighborhood specifically to have a neighborhood elementary school, and I know of other parents who made those same decisions. BBON teachers would be routed to other schools as well. These teachers have served our community and call BBON their home. Many of them live near the school. Teachers already put in more working hours than most professions. This closure could potentially force some of them into a longer commute and make their working days that much longer. BBON serves a small, tightly knit area of the colony. It is the very heart of that community. Our kids grew up together, formed friendships with their neighbors that are still strong today. Rerouting them takes that familiarity and comfort away and puts them in a scenario where the less socially skilled students can get lost in the crowd during a crucial period of their development. Finally, BBON is set in a middle-class community. So was Stewart's Creek Elementary, and it was closed as well. I see no evidence that the board has considered closing any of the schools in the more affluent neighborhoods. Why not close one of those other schools and route them to BBON? When I looked up at your numbers, they all seemed fairly the same. So why not move that to BBON?
I will not.
BBON has a rich history.
We are not going to do that.
BBON has a rich history that easily identifies it as a landmark in this city. Please let it stand so future generations can say, once a Bobcat, always a Bobcat.
Thank you. Would Speaker 13 make their way? Speaker 12.
Hello, my name is Laurie Hyman. I'm a fourth grade teacher at BBON Elementary. I had the privilege of attending Peters Colony, Stewart's Creek, Griffin Middle School, and graduating from the Colony High School. This is my home. From the very beginning, Owen has been special to our community. I knew that when I graduated with my teaching degree, BBON was the only place I wanted to teach. Today, I can proudly say that I've been a teacher at BBON for 27 years. It's hard to put into words how special BBON is. Unless you've been a part of it, you wouldn't understand. When times get tough, the staff at Owen is tougher. Teachers come to Owen and stay for their entire careers. We believe in what we're doing. We believe in our families and our students. Our staff spends hours upon hours planning meaningful experiences. Experiences like our Veterans Day program this week, when our tiny little school had 184 visitors. A few weeks ago, our tiny little school had close to 100 participants in the TCHS Homecoming Parade. And just last month, our tiny school raised $400 by selling Boo Buddies so that we can purchase Christmas gifts for families in the colony. Louisville ISD talks about building relationships. According to our Qualtrics school survey, 100% of our families feel that their child's health and wellness are supported at our school. 100% of our families feel welcomed and are involved. 96% of our families say that the children do whatever it takes, or that the teachers do whatever it takes to help their child meet academic standards. 95% of our students say that there's a staff member on campus that they feel comfortable talking to. Owen shines at the top. We are a hidden gem. Families stay in our neighborhoods until they finish with elementary school because they don't want to leave. They know they have found a special place. We have former students transferring from their students to Owen so that their child will have the same experiences that they did. We're now teaching second generation Bobcats, and what a privilege that is. I'm running out of time. So I just want to say that I do not envy your position. I know it's probably added a lot of stress to your lives too. And we at Owen just appreciate what you've done for us. And I'm just asking that you please examine the budget and make sure that there's no other option before choosing to retire BB Owen. For many of our students, school is their safe place. It's their home. They see smiling faces when they get there. You cannot put a price tag on students' education, their social emotional health, and their feeling of belonging in their future. Our students deserve our best. Thank you.
Thank you. Speaker 14, make your way. Speaker 13.
Good evening. My name is Katie Strange, and I thank you for opening your minds and hearts to hear from us. I've been a part of the BB Owen family for 15 years, and I have 3 sons who have attended BB Owen. My youngest is now a 4th grader. I've had the privilege of serving in many volunteer roles over the years. In January of 2023, my family had a house fire and lost everything. The way that this school responded to my family was unimaginable. From Ms. Metcalf in the counselor's office coordinating things to the office staff and every teacher and family that donated. The BB Owen community is a family. Ms. Barentine and Ms. Heverstick brought a positive, refreshing energy that was much needed. They have implemented new ideas and incentives for the students. The teachers on staff here really care. You can hear that from Ms. Hyman. There are still a few teachers here like her that have been teaching here longer than my boys have been attending, and they're close to retirement. Many of the teachers themselves live within the school boundaries, and their children currently or previously attend BB Owen. I'm concerned that when our students are divided between schools, the transition will be hard on all the students involved. The sad truth is that we are a lower income school, and many walk to and from school and depend on those resources available. Being shifted to a further school with different socioeconomic enrollment will take a toll on some of these students. While most of the students and families at other schools would welcome with open arms, some may not. Regardless of the income, all children will be impacted when it comes to being separated from their friends they've had since pre-K. My other concern is that the number of students in the school will not balance out so easily as this plan suggests. We're going to have a transfer nightmare as students being rezoned, transfer back. The ones being closed from BB Owen are now trying to find where they're happy at. We're going to have a complete imbalance of numbers. While I appreciate that so much research has been done to gather the data needed to make the most informed decision possible, the committees were diverse and analyzed a lot of information, and I'm a person who loves numbers because you can't normally argue with them. And after looking at the data, I can kind of see where y'all are coming from. But what we need to understand is this is not about buildings and numbers. This is about families and communities. And BB Owen is a family. So before y'all make this rush decision to close next year, reevaluate things, see if there's any other option, see how the funding goes next year. Just please don't give up on our BB Owen family. Thank you.
Thank you. Will Speaker 15 make their way down? Speaker 14.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. My name is Jessica Weiser, and I am not only the proud parent of 3 children who attend BB Owen Elementary, but also a teacher at Griffin, the middle school this elementary feeds into. I have a unique perspective on how this school prepares its students, and I want to share why I specifically chose BB Owen for my children. As an educator, I understand how critical these early years are in shaping students' academic foundations, their love for learning, and their sense of self. That's why when it came time to choose a school for my own children, I knew BB Owen was the best fit. It embodies everything I value in a school: excellent teaching, a vibrant community, and a focus on the whole child. The teachers at BB Owen consistently demonstrate passion and dedication. As a parent, I have seen how their commitment has inspired my children to be curious and confident learners. As a middle school teacher, I see the results in my classroom. Students from BB Owen consistently come prepared and ready to excel. BB Owen is not just a school, it's a community. Events like their Bobcat Boo, Coach Cox's Kid Race by the Lake, and their Multicultural Night bring families together and reinforce the idea that we're all partners in our children's education. The school goes beyond core academics to provide enriching programs in art, music, physical education, and more. These opportunities help students explore their interests and develop a range of skills. Choosing BB Owen for my children has been one of the most meaningful decisions I've made as a parent. Incredible educators like Ms. Baxter, Ms. Stockton, Ms. Lockhart, Ms. Brown, Ms. Mihalovich, Ms. Reese, Ms. Hyman, Ms. Scalise, Ms. Pate, Ms. Guthrie, Nurse Smith, Ms. McAdams, Ms. Bryce Leby, Ms. Stone, and Coach Allsbrook have not only enriched my children's education, but have also played a profound role in shaping them into compassionate, confident, and well-rounded individuals. This year, my twins began their kindergarten journey, and while they faced their share of challenges, their teachers have gone above and beyond to support them. Through thoughtful communication and personalized care, they have ensured my boys feel encouraged, understood, and capable. My oldest child, now a 4th grader, has had the privilege of attending BB Owen throughout his entire elementary experience. Reflecting on his journey from kindergarten to today, I am amazed at how much he has grown academically, socially, and emotionally. This growth is a testament to the exceptional educators at BB Owen who have guided him every step of the way. These experiences are just a few of the countless examples of how BB Owen creates a lasting positive impact on its students and families. As both a parent and a teacher, I've seen how BB Owen plays a pivotal role in preparing students for middle school and beyond. It provides a strong foundation, not just for academic success, but for character and community engagement as well. I urge the board to continue supporting this exceptional school so it can meet the evolving needs of its students and remain a source of pride in our district.
Thank you. The speakers 16 make their way down. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Misty Lowe. I have worked at BB Owen for 9 years. This is my 8th year as a pre-K teacher. I have a student who went through two students who went through BB Owen and are now adults. And I currently have a 4th grade student, child at BB Owen. So lots of emotion into this school, so I kept to the facts of our pre-K program so that I wouldn't cry. Okay. BB Owen offers a highly regarded pre-K and ECSE program, both of which consistently experience strong enrollment. We typically begin the school year with full classes, and there is often a waiting list due to high demand. To better serve our community and optimize available space, we could consider opening an additional pre-K or co-teach class at BB Owen. Also, bringing back tuition-based pre-K would generate some additional revenue while also providing a valuable resource for our teachers who have pre-K age children. Thank you.
Thank you. Would speakers 17 make their way up? Speaker 16.
Good evening. My name is Benjamin Porter. My wife Amanda and I are the proud parents of 2 daughters at BB Owen. Amanda's the PTA president. Both of us serve on the school's building leadership team. I served the district on the One Vision Task Force last year and on the Community Efficiency Committee this year, which ultimately led us to this moment. We're both also lifelong LASD members, graduates ourselves, with family who taught in and retired from the district, and we're homeowners in the colony. So saying we're emotionally and financially invested is an understatement. We're committed not just to LASD's current success, but to its long-term legacy. However, as we discuss the future of the school, I know we need more than emotion. We need facts, solutions, and a plan. Let's start with the latest numbers. The TC feeder pattern already lost Stewart's Creek Elementary just 3 years ago, leaving us with fewer elementaries than any other feeder pattern. Despite currently being the smallest feeder pattern in the district, we're also the only feeder pattern projected to see growth in the next 5 to 10 years. Zonda, the district's demographer, just gave their latest report 2 days ago. Currently, we have 800 fewer elementary students than the Flower Mound feeder pattern, but in the next 6 to 10 years, we'll be within 200. That's a projected net increase of 600 students relative to Flower Mound. If trends continue, the colony would overtake Flower Mound within another few years after that, and it could always be sooner. If we retire an elementary campus, the colony will almost certainly see demand for another elementary school before long. So why would we consider closing BB Owen now? In addition to raw numbers, the committee also looked at campus capacities. Based on the Zonda report from Monday, the optimal elementary capacity, with campus retirements included, for the colony would be at 86% in the next 5 years and increase to 92% in the 6 to 10 years beyond, higher than any other feeder pattern. Even without a campus retirement, the colony would still remain above Flower Mounds with a campus retirement in the 6 to 2 year forecast, 76% versus 70%. There are logistical concerns as well. BB Owen's location means that one change doesn't just affect that zone, it's a domino effect for the whole city. When Stewart's Creek closed, Etheridge absorbed the entire footprint, but closing BB Owen would fragment the school's community with students being distributed across 4 different elementaries. Rather than risking closing a campus that we almost certainly will be needed again in the near future, I think we should explore other creative options, specifically for more aggressive lobbying with the Texas State Legislature for an increase to the basic allotment, and I would like to know more plans about that since it hasn't been increased since 2019. BB Owen's been a part of the colony since 1987. Closing it isn't just a blow to one neighborhood, it has a ripple effect on the entire city. And with forecasted enrollment, such a campus retirement would be premature at this time. Thank you for your time. Let's keep BB Owen open and thriving. Thank you.
Thank you. speaker 18 make their way down, please.
My name's Michael Broadus. I've been in the colony for 31 years, in the same house 31 years, with the same girl for 31 years. And I have put 3 children through BB Owen, 2 daughters, and my grandson is now going through BB Owen. BB Owen plays a strong, important role in our neighborhood. BB Owen serves a large area, including the new neighborhood to the north of the school. Many people walk to the school because it's located on a non-busy street. The large hiking sidewalk runs through the school campus. Lots of people use their bicycles and walk on that to get to the school. Traditions are important in families' lives. BB Owen is and has always been a wonderful tradition here in the colony. Please keep this tradition of teaching and family. It's rare to have a great thing that continues this long. Why would you end something that is successful as BB Owen? Thank you.
Thank you. Speaker 19 make their way down. Speaker 18.
Good evening. My name is Leslie Chapin, and as a former student of BB Owen and a parent of current in-district transfers to BB Owen, I come before you today with a great deal of passion and concern, because BB Owen is a place that has shaped my life and now is helping to shape the lives of my 2 children. I was in 4th grade the year BB Owen opened, and so I dreamed of the day that I would get to take my kids there as well. And now that is in question, I've just been really hard-pressed to have conversations with them about what might happen and where they might go and things. And they both were very passionate about wanting to stay at their school because they feel safe and valued and heard, and there's no place that they could imagine that they would feel that safe. The school has provided a sense of security, joy, and opportunity, a sense of community that is invaluable. It can't be measured in test scores. It's, that's things that, you can't measure. I know the decisions are difficult and the financial pressures at play, but to consider the lives of the kids, they're not just numbers on a spreadsheet. I thank you for your time.
Thank you. The next speaker, come on down.
Good evening. Thank you to the board for allowing us the opportunity to gather and speak on behalf of the BB Owen community. My name is Kobe Pate. I'm the lead special education teacher at BB Owen. I myself am a product of LISD. I attended Morningside Elementary, Griffin Middle School, and I graduated from TCHS in 2008. I knew when I graduated from the University of North Texas that I wanted to come back and teach in my hometown and serve the community that raised me. I have now been a BB Owen Bobcat for 10 years, and I have served as the department head for special education for 7 of those 10 years. In addition to being a staff member, I'm the parent of a 4th grader enrolled on our campus who's attended since kindergarten, and I'll also have a kindergartner in the fall of 2025. In addition to that, I'm also a single parent, reliant on the relationships with other families and parents in our community that we've built. So I come to you tonight with concerns as both a staff member and as a parent. BB Owen's current demographic data shows that in addition to being a Title I campus, 28%, which is nearly a third of our population, receives special education services at our school. These are the students who require a higher staff-to-student ratio and have a much higher rate of success in those smaller classes like those found on our campus because they can receive more individualized instruction and attention. I'm particularly concerned that moving an entire self-contained special education unit to an unfamiliar school would be detrimental to the growth of our highest needs kids. Our self-contained communication students would be the only ones moved to Kamey Elementary, whereas their non-disabled peers would go to Morningside or Peters. What would become of all of the social progress our communication students have made when they move to a campus where their social connections have disappeared? As a parent of a fourth grader, I'm also deeply concerned with the disruption in the academic careers of our students who, should Owen be retired, would only have 1 year on their new campus before they transition to middle school. This is the class of students that didn't have a status quo school year before the start of the chaos of COVID. They were the kindergartners that started at school in face masks and shields, or they were on a computer in a little pixel box on a screen with their teacher. Now we're faced with a new social unknown. We're moving to a brand new campus for only 1 year. By the time our students have the chance to build those new, their sense of belonging at a new campus, they're packing up to go to Griffin. And I worry that we had essentially, between COVID and closure, would be bookending their career at elementary with social disconnection, anxiety, and uncertainty. Despite my concerns, I know you'll make the decision that will ensure the best possible outcome for all of the students in our district and in our city. Thank you.
Thank you. Would Speaker 21 make their way? You're up.
Hi, I'm Michelle Westbrook. I'm the 5th grade teacher at BB Owen. I'm a mother of 4, 3 of which go to BB Owen. BB Owen is a Title I school, has provided my children with state-funded pre-K, free and reduced breakfast and lunch. They've provided all of my kids' school supplies when I could not afford it, and even big boxes of love packs to help restock our pantry in times of need. The way that the BB Owen staff has cared for me and my children has been life-changing, and I'm so proud to be a part of that family. I'm concerned about the BB Owen efficiency score. We scored a 0 out of 4 due to the age of our school and the operational cost in combination with our low enrollment rate. First, the age of our school is apparent, but despite the age of our school, it has been maintained by the most amazing custodial staff that I have ever met. They care for the school with a level of excellence that turns our building into a second home for our students and our staff. Many of the other schools in the area have had additions to their buildings and playgrounds that have been paid for by their PTA. We do not have those, and we cannot get a 100% score on those new additions for our efficiency score. Our furniture is original with the school, but a wobbly desk drawer has never held me back from teaching and caring for my students. I have 3 minutes, guys, hold on. We do not need new desks. We do not need new curtains for our stage to provide our students with what they need. Our students need regular meals. I keep food in my classroom from my own pantry to make sure that my students have breakfast in the morning, and a safe learning environment where they can overcome their learning boundaries, many of which are because they transfer from different schools. It is important to consider how resourceful BB Owen staff and families are. If the district would just take care of the necessities of our building, I am confident BB Owen teachers and family would take care of the rest. Let's review the list of physical building items that have negatively affected our school's score and decide if new lights for the stage will really help our students feel loved and safe and ready to learn. Second, the cost to operate our building versus the current number of students enrolled. BB Owen is one of the larger elementary school buildings in the colony. We have a max capacity of 704 students, and yet due to our current school boundaries, we are only enrolled at 274 students. That means that whenever you divide the operational cost by the amount of students, we're at a staggering $1,651 per student. But why is our enrollment rate so low? It's because BB Owen's been left out of multiple rezonings.
Thank you. Speaker 22.
My name is Robert Binion. When I was reviewing the information on BB Owen, I noticed that it opened in 1987. That resonates with me because that was the year I started kindergarten in the LISD. It was in Flower Mound Elementary. My elementary experience was great, just like my son who attended BB Owen K through 5th grade. He would come home every day and tell me about his friends and his activities. Sometimes when he talked about his friends, he said he had special friends that had special situations that their teachers said needed extra love and extra attention. When he described these friends, what he was describing was outbursts and behavioral problems. The teachers at BB Owen told them they need to love them, not set them apart, not make them feel bad. That's when I realized the difference in his community and my community where I went to school was quite different. The average household income in the colony is $118,000. The area that feeds into BBON is far below that. Most of the parents in that area are pulling extra shifts, extra hours, and double jobs. That leaves no time for the emotional development of their children. That's where BBON comes in, and they are embracing and attacking this problem. Counselor Metcalf put in order the character program. This directly affects the emotional development of the children. BBON has partnered with the community to help raise the children. They're using Title I money for free lunches and free school supplies. This is something that is truly needed in our community, and I ask you not to look at the money spent on BBON as a deficit, but as an investment in our community and an investment in the colony. They say it takes a village to raise a child. This village needs BBON. Thank you.
Thank you. Speaker 23, make your way. Sir?
First of all, I'd like to say that none of us like change, and we all push back against change. And after seeing the data that you guys put forth with us tonight, it's pretty apparent that I feel like a decision's already been made.
Sir, could you please state your name?
My name's Brian O'Connor. Hi, everybody.
Thank you.
And, but yeah, I mean, we talk about tax dollars and things like that, and then you talk about consolidating students into one or smaller classrooms, and what happens with their education? What happens with some of the kids that need the extra help, that need the extra attention? Is the smaller classrooms not better for them? I know my daughter, who goes to BBO, and she even wrote a piece about it today. I hope you all understand that some kids need extra help in smaller classrooms because it helps us. The teachers there may be too many of us at BBO, right? I don't have a lot of statistics. I just know these women and these men have poured their hearts out into taking care of our kids, and I think it needs to be given a second thought. Thanks.
Thank you. Speaker 23, Speaker 24, make your way down. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Desiree Binion, and I have been a resident in the colony since 2013. So has my family. Our son Cash attended BBO from kindergarten to 5th grade. Now he's at Griffin Middle School. I'm here to speak on behalf of some of our most scared and vulnerable students, families, the staff at BBO, and our community. Thank you so much for having this listening tour and for all the data and time you have invested in the LISD. Due to COVID, our teachers have been tasked with getting our kids caught up, and now our BBO and educators are tasked with repairing the stress and damage of potential closure while continuing to fight for their school that they and their students deserve to continue to go to. To say the least, this experience has been very traumatizing and stressful to so many. Closing schools equals simplistic and destructive to address the issue of low enrollment. They harm students, families, and communities. If closing BBON, then that will look like LASD doesn't respect us. If keeping BBON open, then that looks like LASD does respect us, to have an honest conversation and can help us come up with a better plan. So please consider the following: an extension time so LASD does not run into making rush decisions, upsetting, and having costly mistakes. It's important to know what the deed says about the land that was gifted to BBON prior to any changes being made to BBON. Rezoning in order to have a more even balance in number of students across all elementary schools in LASD, especially since BBON has a capacity. More data needs to be shared, especially on the breakdown of data in layman's terms. It was mentioned one of the meetings, though, to pull down streets and numbers of students per street to manipulate boundaries. Please have this done, and please share the results from that. It's only fair that everyone impacted sees a side-by-side comparison and report cards for all elementary schools in LISD if retirements are to take place. I have some questions. Why has LISD only used the same company, Zonda, and the same person for the last 11 years, and only given us the last couple of weeks to make a rush decision to have this listening tour and only have 3 minutes to speak? It's not fair. There are other firms out there that can help provide the data and can also provide other solutions besides closing the schools. Has Zonda and LISD really thought about how this will affect our children, families, educators, and our community? Was the emotional, psychological, stressful factored into the data from Zonda? Is all the data accurate and current? Have the children been talked to about this? What do they have to say about this? What do the children and families think of other schools that they may potentially have to be rezoned to? Any data on this, how this affects kids, families, educators, community on all levels? What's the feedback from other districts, communities that have been affected by school districts closures? How do we get our community more potentially involved in political and the funding that appears to be the driver? LISD is trying to save money, but what it costs to our students, educators, families, and communities? What's the identified savings goal? Okay, I'm just going to skip down to the bottom. We're one LISD. Let's be the innovators. Let's come up with some more creative, innovative ideas. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Speaker 25, make their way down. Yeah.
My name is Jenny Fuller Rodriguez. My husband and I are uniquely blessed by having 2 children attend LISD, 21 years apart. Our oldest son graduated TCHS in 2013, and our youngest is a 4th grader at BB Owen. He loves BB Owen so much that I'm here tonight on his birthday speaking to you on his behalf. The proposal to close BB Owen and rezone is not only premature and unnecessary due to the continuing growth of the colony and the recent closure of Stewart's Creek Elementary, but it would be disruptive to every elementary school in our feeder pattern. I appreciate your willingness to hear my opinion, and I appreciate the enormous man-hours committed by the CEC volunteers put into this effort. Now, the score for BB Owen given by the CEC, wherein they were rated a 0 out of 4, is an incomplete report card. I want to share with you the real report card for BB Owen. According to the LISD campus profile, BB Owen received a 98% overall satisfaction rating from parents. Students also love BB Owen, evidenced by their 94.6% attendance rate. That's the second highest elementary score in our feeder pattern. And the faculty delivers a quality education supported by the reading ISIP scores for 4th and 5th graders that indicate 97% are reading at grade level or showing growth, also the second highest in our feeder pattern. The property upon which BB Owen stands was granted to LISD by the Owen Family Foundation for educational purposes only. This building is big enough now to easily house the current break-even number of 550 students. If growth is ever needed, the property can support the building of an additional campus while still operating the existing campus. The colony is one of the few communities in LISD that's still showing growth. Just drive around our city, you will see we're still growing. However, due to demographic and zoning changes, BB Owen is backed into this forgotten little corner surrounded by only single-family dwellings, no apartments. BB Owen will respectfully no longer be a quiet little forgotten treasure in our community. We're speaking up. Our school is one of the best, surrounded by one of the most supportive neighborhoods in our community. This campus can be better utilized than it currently is, and we respectfully ask that you take a look at some zoning changes that would benefit BB Owen and not retire it. And thank you for your time. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Will Speaker 26 make their way down?
Hi. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for having me here tonight. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Nicholas McGowan, the father of 2 amazing little boys here. We live in Little Elm. I thought about showing up today due to the passion installed to me from my mother, a lifelong educator of special needs, who in fact worked explicitly for the Louisville Independent School District Director of Special Education for more than 12 years, and was the innovator that created the district's Starfish Cafe program. But the reason I'm actually here today that made me show up and stand up is Nathan, my special needs son, who happens to be part of the phenomenal comms program offered by LISD and the BB Owens faculty. But now we're here to discuss an issue that reaches far beyond numbers on a spreadsheet or lines on a district map. It's about the lives of our children, especially those who rely on the unique and invaluable services and resources offered by the BB Owens Elementary School and faculty, part of the Louisville Independent School District. BB Owens is more than a school. It's a lifeline for our district families, like mine, and out-of-district families who have found a supportive community and specialized education for our children with special needs. My son Nathan, who is on the autism spectrum, has thrived here, making strides in communication, social interaction, and daily living skills that we once only dreamed about. For beyond the two private, before the two private facilities we had, and then before, all based on direct engagement from that team, pushed him into general education here at BB Owens, where he has again succeeded. The potential closure of BB Owens and the redrawing of the boundary lines within the district threatens not just a building, but a beacon of hope and progress for students who thrive under its care. If BB Owen closes, we face uncertainty about the essential programs that will go, and what that will mean for families like mine, who live on the north side of Little Elm, but depend on the exceptional facility and resources provided by the districts exclusively at BB Owens. We must consider what this means for families who, like my ex-wife and I, have rearranged our lives, which includes our oldest son goes to Little Elm and is left each morning to finish getting ready for school by himself so we can get Nathan to BB Owens and access these services. The prospect of losing this school creates anxiety and uncertainty. This includes, which considers it, this means, I'm sorry. We must consider what this means for families like mine and my ex-wife that leave our son in the morning to get ready by himself and access these services. The prospect of losing the school creates anxiety and uncertainty about the future of special needs education within our community. Closing BB Owens would mean disrupting the lives of countless families who depend on its programs and their amazing facilities that have created the culture of my son thrives in. It would mean forced.
Thank you. Speaker 27, if you'll make your way down. Yep.
My name is Matt Hale. I grew up going to LASD schools. My mom is actually a teacher at Marcus High School and has been there for over 25 years. We moved back to the area and to this neighborhood this summer, and BB Owen was a major reason why we moved there. I have a son who's a first grader there, and he is also on the autism spectrum, and change is very difficult for him, but the transition to BB Owen has been one that has gone very well for him as far as changes go. He has trouble when people put out Christmas lights early. Don't do that. And it's gone great for him, and he loves it. And he told us that he really likes the principal. I don't remember liking the principal when I was in first grade. And he told us yesterday that his teacher has the nicest smile of everybody, Mrs. Prince. He's happy there. I raise that because a lot of people have talked about, I think, qualitative data, right? Y'all have made a presentation, mostly quantitative data. We've mostly talked about qualitative data. And there are costs that are qualitative too. And a lot of the costs for transitions like this are borne by kids who are who have those special needs. And that's something you need to take into account. There are financial costs, of course, that y'all are concerned with. There are also costs to families with children who are on the spectrum, have special needs. The other thing I want to talk about is that when I have, the time that my wife and I have spent at BB Owen getting our son connected with the programs and services offered to him, I've noticed two things. One is that everybody there is very professional. Everybody is very well organized, coordinates very well with each other, and the other thing is that the teachers are all very happy to be there. This is Texas, and the teachers are happy to be at the school. This is not a typical thing in Texas. Y'all know that, right? Don't throw away something that works. Schools are complicated social organisms. They are more than the sum of their parts. You cannot take it apart and scatter it to the winds and expect the same results. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. Hello, my name is Leslie Cook, and I'm a parent of a student that attends BB Owen. Thank you for allowing me to speak with you tonight about an issue that deeply impacts our students, families, and the fabric of our community. We're new here. We moved here from South Carolina. COVID, we were once successful investors within the nice neighborhood with the school right down the street and the lake and all that stuff. But there you're a number. W292561, you're a number. You're not a student, you're not a name, you're a number. Because of how that school operated and because of the socioeconomic financial stability of the said neighborhoods. We moved here after COVID took everything away from us, and we are now considered in a disadvantaged neighborhood. I heard a lot of people speaking tonight about autism and special needs kids. My child is high-functioning Asperger's. He scores amongst the 5th grade level. His only thing that he is working towards is the social aspect of, being friends and, talking and hanging out and stuff. And Miss Prince and Miss Barentine, they have been exceptional with helping him blossom in socializing, helping, helping him blossom in his confidence to be himself, even if the social thing is still being worked on. There's also the issue of equity and accessibility. Rezoning often disappropriately impacts our most vulnerable students. Many of our families rely on current zoning structure to provide their children with access to schools that meet their specific needs, whether it's proximity for walking, access to certain programs, or certain services. Changing that will create new burdens, both logistical and financial, that many families simply cannot change. The idea of retiring a school or shifting students into new boundaries may seem like a step toward efficiency. However, the cost savings and logistical conveniences do not account for the deeper, less quantifiable losses, the loss of a cherished community school, the breakdown of support networks, and the emotional upheaval of that our students will experience. Research consistently shows that students perform better academically and socially when they feel a sense of belonging. I'm not even close to everything I was gonna say, so I'm just gonna put some things in here. I wrote a thesis in college for my undergraduate over Freudian theory of psychoanalytic development. Children are still forming their core memories from ages 0 to 7. They're sponges right now. They need stability, they need love, and everybody deserves a fair chance at education.
Thank you. That concludes all the speakers who signed up and checked in tonight. I want to thank everyone who spoke or submitted comments tonight. Your input is greatly appreciated by the board as we move forward. I understand that you want to hear from the board, and you will have that opportunity on December 2nd during our work session. Please note that this will be a regular work session where there will be discussion among the board members on agenda items and not a dialogue with the community. No decision will be made that night. I want to thank you for being respectful throughout this process. Nobody wants to close schools, and we understand that everybody loves their school. We aim to make decisions with the best interest of the whole district in mind. And with that, if there is no further business, this meeting is adjourned, and the time is 7:26 p.m. Have a pleasant evening.